Hey mate.
Hello sir. What are we doing?
I'm just flying a quad.
Okay, where we're flying it over?
There.
Okay, well, it's been over the car park of the police station?
No, not yet, but it is going to in a minute.
And why? And it isn't? No,
it is.
No, it isn't.
Oh, it is.
Okay, why is it going over the...
Because I've got to get shots of this police station. I tried to get one the other day, and two policemen come and talk to me.
Right.
And they talked to me for ages, and they ruined my battery. All the time I was talking to them, battery ran down. And then...
What you've got to understand, so... If you fly it over things like police stations, it's classed as hostile reconnaissance?
Oh, it's not hostile reconnaissance.
Okay, but what's it for?
It's for my YouTube channel.
Right, okay. But what's it going to do?
It's going to sit on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, but it's not, because the problem is we've got personal cars and things like that in there, we've got police officers.
Oh, don't worry about them.
I know, but if it's going on the YouTube channel, it shows things that it necessarily doesn't need to.
It ain't going to see any Reggies from up there.
As the officer approaches, he immediately begins questioning the auditor about his drone, accusing him of hostile reconnaissance without any evidence. But what's even worse is how carelessly the officer handles the situation. Rather than asking the auditor to safely land the drone before engaging, he launches into questioning mid-flight completely, distracting the pilot during a live operation. This is not just unprofessional, it's reckless operating. A drone requires full concentration, especially when ensuring safe distance, visibility, and control. By confronting the auditor while his drone is still airborne, the officer creates an unnecessary safety risk. If he genuinely believed there was a concern, the first step should have been a calm request to safely land the drone before starting any dialogue.
I know, but we can't say it isn't. So there are...
Let me just land it while I talk.
Yeah, go on. Get some detail. What's your name, dude?
I had to tell you my name.
And, I need to ask, don't I?
No, because you don't need to know my name.
Because I need to know who's flying drones over police stations, so I do.
I hadn't flown it over the police station.
Okay.
I've literally just took off and it was there, and then you come to talk to me, so I hadn't done anything yet.
Yeah, but our front office has called through to say there's somebody...
I'll tell him to stop whinging.
No, because that's the job, isn't it?
Yeah, but it isn't, because I'm not... I don't understand if I was doing something illegal, but I'm not, I'm just flying a quad.
Yeah, but it might be classed as...
Oh, it's not classed as anything, mate.
Flying a drone over police property is not a criminal offense, especially when the drone is under 250 G, which places it under the open category of the CIA drone regulations, as long as the pilot maintains visual line of sight, avoids restricted airspace, and complies with basic safety rules. There's no requirement to get permission from the property owner below, even if that's a police station. Despite this, the officer presses for the auditor's personal details without any reasonable suspicion of a crime and based solely on a report from the front office under Pace 1984 and Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2002. Officers need a clear legal basis to demand identification, something that is completely missing here.
What size is that?
What size?
Yeah.
No, it's about, I don't know, 6 inches or something.
Weight.
Oh, the weight. Yeah. The weight, it's 249.
But you're going to show me, but you don't, and then you won't tell me who you are, and it's
I don't want to tell you who I am. I don't, because it's against it's breaching our rights. You see.
Well, it isn't, because you're breaching a lot of rights, really.
What rights have I breached?
As in people's rights to privacy and data protection and stuff like that in relation to people's potential vehicles and workplace. That's why we've got electronic gates on there, isn't it? So people don't access it. You know,
there's no breach.
And I'm not.
No rights being breached.
I'm not saying anything, but we still need to know who people are who fly.
Why?
We do need to.
Why?
Because we do.
First, filming vehicles or buildings from a public place or public airspace is not a breach of privacy under UK law. There is no expectation of privacy in public, and GDPR does not apply to private individuals filming for personal or journalistic purposes. Claiming that flying a drone near a police station automatically breaches privacy is simply wrong. Second, while officers are entitled to approach someone and ask questions, there is no legal requirement to provide personal details unless the officer can show a lawful reason, such as reasonable suspicion of an offense or antisocial behavior. The officer saying, "We need to know who's flying over the police station," does not qualify as a legal ground to demand ID. The officer is clearly trying to create the impression that flying a drone over or near a police building is inherently suspicious or unlawful, but it's not.
You don't, because you don't. If you suspect me of a crime, you're allowed to ask me name.
Well, there are potential offences, aren't there?
What offences?
Well, the information you're gathering, I don't know what that's for.
It's from a YouTube channel.
Okay, let's show me it. Show me your YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm looking at it.
We don't need to knock any more, do you?
No, but so there's that one.
Oh yeah, look at more. Do you want to see more?
Some more, that's all.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like police stations and things, because there's obviously people's vehicles.
I do police stations too.
And obviously, yeah, but obviously, as you know, that
There's no fair.
Some people might not be as legitimate as you. So.
Yeah, I don't.
And
yeah.
the problem is, if we start to get people picking up registration or images of people, because sometimes people don't want their images on things and things like that. So it's things like data protection we've got to look at.
Yeah.
We've got to be careful with, innit?
Instead of focusing on whether anything unlawful is happening, which there clearly isn't, the officer asks to see the auditor's YouTube channel as if the legality of the situation depends on how the footage is used. It doesn't. The auditor has no obligation to justify his intentions or show any content, especially when he's operating within the bounds of the law. The fact that the officer leans in to view the auditor's videos, even lightly holding the phone, while doing so, is still problematic. It shows a level of pressure and overstepping that goes beyond a casual conversation. This is a prime example of how officers sometimes cross the line between investigation and interference, using vague concerns as a cover for overreaching and pressuring lawful individuals. All right.
All right.
I can't get any faces from up there. What it's to be is about 50 metres up.
So it's 249 gram one, isn't it? Because I think there's different legislations with drones, isn't there?
Yeah, it says there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to ask you to not please over the police station.
Okay, I accept you've asked me. Okay.
I understand you won't give me your details.
Yeah.
That could be different if I thought there was any offences in it. Or if there's any.
Oh yeah,
if there's anything in it that would be.
I believe you. I mean, if you was to say, "Oh, you suspect me of an offence," I'd tell you my name just like that.
Yeah. What you've got to remember, I mean, we can go further into things, but we can look at terrorist offences technically with people.
No, I'm not a terrorist.
No, I'm not saying you are, sir. But you know what I mean. But that's the potential that we'll get with people with drones into.
Yeah, I've heard
these people can really try and get footage for the really wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And I don't think you are.
No, I'm not.
But I also don't want other people to use your images that you get for the wrong reasons as well.
If the officer is truly worried about people using footage for nefarious purposes, then they should also have a problem with Google Maps, Google Earth, Street View, and countless other platforms. These services are open to the entire world and include aerial imagery updated regularly. The officer's job is not to police what could happen, but to respond to what is happening. There's no suspicious behavior, just a person filming a building from a legal position. The fear-based reasoning falls apart instantly when you realize far more information is already available online, and no one needs an auditor's video to plan anything sinister.
But they're not illegal.
But they can be, can't
They're not.
No, but they can cause problems, can't they?
No.
Does that make sense?
No.
It can cause problems for people if people take your images for the wrong reason. If you're filming over the A63 and with the work they're doing, that's absolutely fine, isn't it? Because there's nothing in there that's of any interest to people.
Okay.
But what happens in a police station is of interest to some people.
Yeah.
Different to what your interest is in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm going to be such a distance. I'll be like, it's literally like sitting over there and filming over here with a camera phone.
Yeah.
And that's all. You know how tiny everything would be.
You know, there's lots of reasons why it's not safe for people if people are filming a police station. That's all.
I respect what you're saying, and
we have to take it seriously because we have to protect that, because it puts us in danger at times and things like that. And I say it's not you.
I don't want to put anyone in danger. So
I know you don't. But,
what I'll do,
but there's some people that maybe would.
Yeah. So what I'll do then is I'll keep up eye out the way, so no one will see me, and I won't see it.
I'll start to leave now from the police station.
I can't leave now.
By ordering the auditor to leave a public footpath with no legal grounds, the officer steps far outside the bounds of his authority. Instead of de-escalating or verifying whether any laws are being broken, the officer defaults to removal despite lacking any power to do so. Public spaces don't become off limits just because someone with a badge is uncomfortable. What we're seeing here isn't discretion, it's dominance. And when police begin using their role to push people around without a lawful reason, they're not just bending the rules, they're eroding public confidence and misrepresenting what policing is meant to be.
You got to, because that's why I've been sent.
I can't.
So we got to. Because,
I can't.
Because otherwise
I ain't done my job.
I know, but you have done it.
I haven't.
For now, because
I haven't.
It's still not allowed to be flown over the police station.
It is allowed.
It isn't.
It is. It's the CAA that let me do it.
Who?
The CAA.
CAA.
Civil Aviation Authority.
This response highlights a serious problem. An officer attempting to enforce drone laws without even knowing who the Civil Aviation Authority is, the national body that regulates all drone flights in the UK. If a police officer doesn't know the name of the very authority that governs flight regulations, how can they possibly justify telling someone what they can and can't do? It's a textbook case of uninformed enforcement where the officer isn't applying law, but making it up on the spot. It shows how quickly lawful rights can be trampled by officers who lack even the most basic understanding of the legislation they're trying to enforce.
But they don't. Yeah, but
So I'll show you here. There's nothing there. Look, nothing at all. Nothing. The only place in Hull is literally that.
Yeah.
They sometimes put temporary restrictions, but there isn't any.
Right.
Police sometimes do come up with the terrorist stuff and try and use that against us, but it's not true. It's just an abuse of power. Really.
No, it isn't, because
it is.
I'm not saying that you are.
Nah.
But people who might be interested in that, they get a lot of information that they won't get any other way. So they could use your footage to gain information.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it. And
but if it's a real terrorist really come along, they could sit over there, right over there, and they could fly from over there and just fly over, get the bits, and then go.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course they could. Yeah, I know they could.
Okay.
But it makes their life so much easier if they don't have to do it because other people are unwittingly doing it for them.
Nothing on my video will be able to be any help to any terrorist, I promise.
The only other compromise that I'm going to need is your details.
I ain't giving my details.
Because
I don't got to.
Because there's a recordable offence with this.
Does it what?
There is a recordable offence for this.
How? Why?
And so we will need you.
What offence would it be?
I'm just waiting for that information.
Okay, I bet they ain't got it.
Because I don't know the wording.
Yeah, I bet they ain't got it.
The officer claims there's a recordable offence involved, but when press name it, he admits he doesn't know what it is. He's still waiting to be told over the radio. That's a complete failure. You can't claim someone might be committing an offense, ask for their personal information because of it, and then admit you don't even know what law you're referring to. This isn't lawful policing. It's guesswork. The officer is clearly grasping for something to justify his demands, which only highlights how unprepared and uninformed he is. If you're going to question someone's actions, especially around something as regulated as drone use, you'd better know the law first.
Now what I mean is there's a lot of people flying these, and the law's been explored.
Well, the legislation's changing, isn't it? Because it has to change with them because of some of the problems that they can cause.
It hasn't changed since the last time though, a couple of years ago. It's legal. Well, if they want to.
And that's why legislation changes, isn't it? To encapsulate
but
things.
Until it changes, it's allowed.
I think it has. It sounds.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't.
Bear with me. I'm going to find out what it is. I'll tell you what it is. And if we're not right, then I'll happily say we're not.
Yeah.
I think we are.
Yeah. Some policemen do. Some admit they're wrong and apologise. I've seen it on a few videos. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they dig their heels in and they think they're right when they're not, and then they go off in a huff.
The officer tries to assert control by claiming that drone laws have changed recently due to the issues drones can cause, but this simply isn't true. The auditor is quick to correct him, pointing out there's been no such update, and he's absolutely right. UK drone regulations were last significantly updated in December 2020 when the CIA introduced the current framework categorizing drone flights into open, specific, and certified operations. Since then, there have been no major legal changes, and transitional provisions for certain drones have simply been extended to January 2026. Nothing about this interaction falls outside those existing rules. By falsely claiming that the law has changed, the officer reveals a worrying lack of awareness about the very legislation he's trying to enforce.
I haven't got a problem. The only thing I am telling you, and I'm being perfectly honest, is that part of it might be a request for your details, and that might be something we've got to get round, or we've got to get through and deal with. If that's the case, then we'll talk about that. But
so you're a sergeant, then? Who are you taking the orders off from up there? Is it someone up top, an inspector or something?
No, we have a force incident manager. So
is that I was telling you your info?
So they're just checking.
Is he like going on Google and finding out from there and then telling you?
He'll have some legislation in front of him, and then there'll be loads of legislation to things like this, and loads of it to go through. Yeah,
we've got to work within the law. If they're not autobans at the moment, we're allowed to do it. It's not really, we don't obey laws that don't exist yet and think they might change, and we'll worry about it. We just get our jobs done, and then if it changes later, we've got the footage already.
Right, so we're getting there.
Good.
Right, so can I just take the details of your drone? That's all.
What do you mean the details?
As in the sort of size and the make. That's all. We've done the size anyway.
Yeah, it's 249 grams.
So it's 249 ultra light.
Yeah, it's a DJI.
What's this? Is that your operator's license?
No, it's my operating ID.
Right, so it's GB. OB, FUK, NZ, BV, W3T, and that's where you off your license.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's okay. So the legislation, you've got to either do that, land it, as you have, and go and show me the details of it, or you've got to give me your details.
I don't know.
A Mini 4 Pro. You're not giving me your details.
No.
Okay.
But I've given you them. That links to them.
But because you've given me that, then I've got that, and I'm happy. Okay.
Under UK drone laws regulated by the CIA, operators must display an operator ID on their drone if it weighs over 250 G or has a camera. However, just because the ID is visible doesn't mean a police officer has the automatic right to demand it record it or use it to obtain personal information. Officers can only request or act on that information if they have a clear legal basis, such as reasonable suspicion of an offense, a flight posing a danger, or a formal investigation under the Air Navigation Order 2016 or related CIA regulations. In this case, the officer had no evidence of wrongdoing and even admitted he didn't know what law had been broken, yet still claimed legislation required the auditor to land and show his ID. That's a clear overreach and a misuse of police powers, using the operator ID to backtrack someone's identity without legal justification could also breach their right to privacy under Article 8 of the Human Rights Act.
It's legislation changes all the time, and that's where where it sits at the moment. Whether it'll change again, it'll change again at some point, because it'll have to some extent. And different things that happen change the legislation, don't they? Always. It's the same with law. We have state cases change the way the law works.
It's always updating.
So it's the same as that. All right.
I
appreciate not giving details. That's your choice. And I appreciate you talking to me.
Okay, thanks.
Because you've given me what I need, and I know you're not wrong. And
No, I'm not.
I also don't want, just please, can I ask you that, you do make sure there's nothing put across that's going to...
I won't put anything online that's going to put anyone at any risk at all. None at all.
Because that's the bottom line. I don't want anyone, whether it's you, whether it's me or colleagues or anyone else, I don't want people coming at risk because of things that people see.
There won't be any of that.
I don't want criminals, organised criminals to be, to be assisted by somebody unwittingly.
No.
Because that's not...
No, I'll give them nothing. I mean, if they want to look at the outside of a police building from a little bit higher, I mean, if that helps them, they won't. But yeah, that's all they're going to get.
What's your first name, please?
I'd rather not see
Just
it.
so I can speak to you. What's your first
Steve.
Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
As the officer wraps up the interaction, it becomes painfully clear just how off the mark he was from the very beginning. He initiated contact while the auditor's drone was still in flight, failing to ask for it to be. Safely landed first, creating a distraction and a potential safety hazard entirely of his own making. From there, the situation only deteriorated. The officer displayed clear bias and flawed reasoning when he expressed concern that the footage might be used for the wrong reasons, despite having no evidence to support such a claim. He also revealed a concerning lack of knowledge, failing to recognize the CAA, the national authority responsible for regulating airspace, and continuing to argue against the auditor's rights with no real understanding of the law. Things escalated further when he suggested a recordable offense had occurred, only to admit moments later that he didn't actually know what the offense was and was waiting to be informed via radio. That admission alone exposed how little legal ground he truly had to stand on. Perhaps most telling was when he got the auditor's operator ID, falsely claiming that legislation required it and that he had the right to inspect it. Not only was this untrue, but it also highlighted a fundamental misunderstanding of drone regulations and a willingness to invent legal authority in an attempt to assert control. This wasn't policing, it was posturing. An officer clearly out of his depth trying to save face by clinging to authority he didn't possess. In doing so, he not only misused his position, but also provided a stark example of why public accountability is absolutely essential. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out Man with Flying Camera. His channel is linked in the description. Show him some love. Thanks for watching. This was Rate the Audit, and I'll see you in the next